Hi, and welcome to my channel. Or if you're a returning subscriber, hi again. It's so nice to see you back here for another video. My name's Tess Lark, and today I'm going to show you how you can make the prettiest, most sparkly Christmas ornaments using epoxy resin and glitter. As always, all the materials that I use for this project will be linked in the description below. So all of that information will be down there for you, and let's hop into it. To save some time in this video, I went ahead and I pre-mixed my resin, but if you're curious about how to mix resin, I do have some videos on here showing just that, so I'll make sure to link one of those in the description below. But I wasn't sure how much these molds were going to hold, so I went ahead and I mixed up 8 ounces total resin. So 4 ounces of hardener and 4 ounces of resin. I also have some silicone mats laid down on my desk, and that's just to protect it from any uncured resin. Next, I have this beautiful glitter set from Let's Resin. I really love all of these glitters. I ended up using 5 different glitters because I've got 5 different molds. And last up are these really gorgeous snowflake molds. And once again, all of the materials that I used will be linked in the description. So if you're curious about anything that I'm using, I'll have all of those details and links provided for you. One thing that I really do love about these molds is they already have a little notch built into the mold itself, so we won't need to do any drilling to hang these up on the tree, which is great. It's just one step that we don't need to worry about. The glitter colors that I ended up using were the blue opal, the magic opal, silver opal, champagne gold, and gold opal. And these color combinations are so beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit obsessed, and I can't wait to use some of this glitter for the centers of some 3D resin flowers. I don't think it's going to take a lot of glitter to get the effect that I want, because I do want these pieces to have a little bit of clear resin in them too. So I'm starting by just sectioning off a little bit of that clear resin into 5 smaller silicone containers, and then after that I'm going to mix my glitter directly into those containers. And just a little shameless self-promotion here, I did actually start a second channel. The last year or so I've been getting really into reading fantasy and romantasy series. So I recently started a podcast channel with a good friend of mine, and we're currently deep diving Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Anyway, if you're a reader and you're curious about that, go and check it out and let me know what you think. Alright, so enough about that and back to the task at hand. Whenever you're mixing pigment and resin, or in this case glitter and resin, you want to make sure that you've got the pigment or the glitter really well incorporated. You can see how the glitter starts just kind of sitting on the top of the resin, so you want to make sure that everything is really well incorporated, making sure to scrape both the bottom and the sides of your container as you go. Next, I'm going to start by adding some of that glitter into my mold. So I've made enough glitter in each one of these smaller containers to do one for each of them. So I won't be mixing the glitter colors because I'm curious to see how it looks with the resin after it's cured. So when I poured my glitter in, I'm kind of focusing on the center of the piece and then stretching that out to those little tips, because I do want most of the glitter to be in the center and then right at the ends. And then following that up with some clear resin, pouring that in until the mold is nice and full. And I want to make sure that my resin gets all the way around that little piece. You can see here where it has the hole pre-made. So I'm using a small silicone tool and just pushing that resin to make sure that it makes it all the way to the edge there. When you're working with epoxy resin, you want to pour your resin in kind of slowly when you're getting towards the end of your mold, because the resin is quite viscous, so it takes a minute for it to kind of level out and be where it's going to end up. So it's really easy to overfill your molds. So for instance, I have my footage sped up to about like 2 to 4 times the normal speed in some of these shots. But when you're working with resin yourself, just make sure that you take your time. And I'm so curious to hear from you guys. What are you making? Have you made any holiday crafts this year? Leave me a comment and let me know what you're working on. I absolutely love to learn from you, and I love that there's so many other makers that are following me here. And I'm sorry if this is annoying, but I really am so thankful for everybody who's decided to subscribe so far. It really means the world to me to see this little channel growing. It's so great and really validating, so thank you so much. But I'm just continuing to fill up my pieces here, again starting in the center and pulling some of that glitter out to the edges before carefully pouring in my clear resin until until the mold is completely full, and then making sure that I've got it around that little notch at the top, so it's going to be easy to make these actually into ornaments. And here's our last one. All of these glitters are honestly stunning. I'm a bit of a glitter head. I love anything shiny and sparkly, and this glitter is actually really special. I'm pretty excited about it. But after I finish this final mold, I'll go ahead and hit these guys with a heat gun to make sure that I've popped any bubbles that are forming at the surface. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover them up and let them cure completely before moving on to the next step. I have 2 ounces left of my resin, so if you do 6 ounces total of resin for these 5 molds, you should have enough. I went ahead and I let my pieces cure overnight, so they're nice and hard, completely cured. So let's go ahead and pull them out of their molds and see how they turned out. And let's start with the one that we used the gold opal glitter with first. From the backs, they look so pretty. So here is our first snowflake, and that's using that gold opal color. It's really, really pretty. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love these. They're so shiny and glittery and really giving that twinkly Christmas feeling. So pretty. I'm absolutely loving these. Let me know what you think of them in the comments down below. And I was sort of thinking about putting some paint pen on these, some gold or silver paint pen, but honestly, I'm loving how they are. They're so pretty, so glittery. This resin is really, really clear and reflective. I love on this one in particular how a lot of the glitter ended up in the tips and then just the center. So pretty. And as I mentioned earlier, these ones do already have a little hole already built into the mold, so we're not going to have to do any drilling, but the last step is just going to be to put these guys on a little bit of ribbon. So I've just got some simple gold and silver ribbon that I picked up at Michael's, and I'm just going to go ahead and thread some of this through, tie it off, and I'll show you the finished product. I went ahead and I just tied off my pieces with a simple knot at the top and then cut off as much excess as I could. But feel free to get creative with it if you want to do a cute little bow on the top. I think that could be really nice. And feel free to make this project your own. How cute are these? I can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this project and let me know if you have a favorite. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video. And if you did make it all the way to the end of this video, leave me some sort of animal related emoji or comment just to confuse anybody who hasn't made it this far. I recently read a comment on one of my resin tutorials thanking me for a Vegemite toast tutorial, which really made me giggle. So if you left that and you happen to be watching this, thank you so much. Anyway, I really hope that this video inspires you to make something of your own today, and happy holidays. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.